Welcome back to Native Pets channel. I'm Abby and I'm from the Native Pet team, and this is expert veterinarian Dr. Juli.
Hey everyone, I'm Dr. Juli. I've been a veterinarian for a few decades. I'm a traveling veterinarian. I work all over the world and the country, working on dogs and cats and dolphins and even a few seahorses along the way.
That's so cool. So today we're going to be exploring some hot takes. Pet parenthood can be very passionate, and that leads to some contradicting opinions from different people on different sides of pet ownership. So we're gonna get a veterinarian's opinion about what she thinks about some hot topics among dog parents and pet parents. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
All right, kibble or wet food?
Kibble.
Why?
Because you can always add water to kibble, and also the crunchiness can help remove tartar from their teeth, and yeah, that's mine.
Favorite supplement for dogs?
Omega oil. I feel like it's a powerhouse supplement, so it's great for joint health. It helps decrease inflammation. It's also great for organ health and for overall skin health and support.
Dogs or cats?
Dogs. Okay. Dogs are always wanting to please you for the most part, and you usually can bribe them with treats, whereas as much as I love cats, I have 2 cats. If they don't want to do something, they're not going to do it.
Favorite breed?
Golden Retriever.
Least favorite breed?
Probably French Bulldogs, only because they have so many medical problems, and most people that adopt them or purchase one from a breeder don't realize the healthcare commitment that they're getting into. So it can be very financially taxing, it can be very stressful on the pet owner and on the dog, and overall I think that because they're a popular breed, then everybody gets them before actually stopping to think about what's involved.
Yeah, so to build off of that, what is your opinion of French Bulldogs as the #1 breed?
I don't like it. And it's not that I don't like the dogs. They're very cute and they're very sweet. I think it's just a lot of them struggle with so many health issues, and then they're not able to get the care that they need so that they have a higher quality of life.
Have you seen an uptick in like French Bulldog ownership since it became the #1 breed, or in the past few years?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think probably the 2 most common breeds that I see when I'm working in a clinic are French Bulldogs or Goldendoodles.
Yes. Thoughts on off-leash dogs?
If you're gonna have your dog off leash, you need to make sure they're on strict voice command. You need to make sure that you're in a safe location, so not near a freeway or a highway or any kind of busy road where a squirrel may tempt them to run across the street and they get one track brained, and then that's when accidents happen.
Yeah, for sure. It can be dangerous.
It can be very dangerous.
One breed besides French Bulldogs that you would never own?
That I would never own. Probably, I probably wouldn't own, even though I want one terribly, it's a Bernese Mountain Dog, because I live in a very hot climate, and that would just not be fair to an animal like that.
Do you see a lot of health issues in Bernese Mountain Dogs?
They tend to get joint issues, like all the larger breed dogs.
Yeah.
Cancer is very common in those larger breed dogs as well. Those are probably the top 2 things.
What are your thoughts on dog parks?
I think dog parks can be great. I used to take my dog to a park, but if you're gonna do it, you wanna make sure that your dog is fully vaccinated, that they're on flea and tick prevention, anti-parasitics, because it's also a good, like a child daycare, it's a great breeding ground for diseases, for parasites, for fleas, for ticks. And you wanna make sure that your dog likes other dogs.
Yeah.
So the other big danger is socialization issues.
Dog parks make me anxious. I used to bring my dog to dog parks all the time, and he loves to play with other dogs, so he did like it. But I think that like so many people don't have voice control over their dog, so I'm not against them. I think for the right dog, they're like a great option. Agreed. I think for most dogs, they're not. And I think for me personally, I get really anxious going, because I just like know all the things that could go wrong. So for me, no, but for the right kind of dog, I think yes.
I will say, when I walk by one, if I have my veterinary hat on, I look, when I see a bunch of dogs like that, sizes and breeds, I'm like, oh, it looks like a recipe for a disaster.
Yeah. What would you rather own, a Goldendoodle or a Husky?
Oh, probably a Husky.
Okay, why is that?
I love the look of a Husky. their issues tend to be they're very kind of high-strung, anxious dogs. They might make a good running partner for me, potentially, to get some of that energy out. Whereas Goldendoodles, I've seen a lot of medical issues with Goldendoodles, with skin issues and behavioral issues. With Huskies, I think the number one thing that they struggle with is anxiety, and that's something that you can work through a little bit easier, I think, sometimes.
What's the most common health issue that you see in Goldendoodles?
Skin issues.
Yeah.
Very similar to the Golden.
So like allergies or?
Yeah, allergies, generalized allergies, itchy skin, hot spots, those sorts of things, bad ears.
To continue on the Goldendoodle topic, what are your thoughts on advertising them as dogs that don't shed?
Every dog sheds.
Yes.
unless the dog is hairless.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't seen that many Chinese crested, but they probably don't shed all that much.
Yeah.
But I'm sure the little hair that they do have probably sheds.
Yes. I have a Goldendoodle, and he can confirm he sheds a lot.
Yeah.
So
they shed, and another, along that lines, the other common misconception is that there's a hypoallergenic dog.
Oh yeah.
And there really isn't.
Yeah. No.
I mean, there are probably dogs that are less inflammatory to people's allergies, but in general, having like a sterile dog just doesn't exist.
What do you think about Titer tests? And for those people that don't know, can you explain what Titer testing is?
So Titer testing is basically, it's a blood test that checks your animal's ability to fight certain diseases. So the level of vaccine protection that you have in your body. I think there's a place for Titer testing. I think it's a good tool that we have in our toolbox for making sure that we're not over-vaccinating. The unfortunate part is it's usually cost prohibitive for most owners, but I think it's great. I wish we could do it more. I wish it was more cost effective. I mean, we've learned a lot over the years where we used to continuously vaccinate every year, and now most vaccines are every 3 years once your dog has had their first complete set, which is great. And as the science evolves, perhaps that may be extended even longer. So if you can afford Titer testing, I think it's great. But if not, at least, make sure you're following your vet's recommendations and getting them vaccinated as they recommend.
Yeah. Retractable leashes can be controversial.
I hate them. I get why people use them, but for the most part, people do not have control of their animals when they're using a retractable leash. I've literally seen dogs go into the street where the owners were walking on their phone and had no clue, and that could be a dead dog very quickly. So I think just get a regular, if you want your dog to have more space, just get a longer leash, a fixed length leash.
Yeah.
So.
Have you had any experiences with either people coming into a vet's office where you worked and they had a retractable leash, and it does it cause any disruptions?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, the first thing that we do is put our own leash on your dog.
Yeah.
A lot of people may not notice that, but it's because we know that we can have control of the animal because there's a lot of smells and sights, there's a lot of different animals. And the last thing that we want to happen is to have a negative interaction with other pets at the hospital and cause a new problem.
Yeah.
So.
On top of already being stressed.
Right.
Yeah.
So get rid of your retractable leashes.
Chiropractors for dogs has kind of become a thing. What are your thoughts on those? And do you think they're effective?
I think they can be. I know that a lot of people with horses rely on chiropractors. If you're gonna use that type of resource for your pet, you want to make sure it's a veterinary trained chiropractic practitioner. They do have that. It can go great with massage and also with acupuncture. And I think it depends on what the animal's underlying problem is. But I don't think it's gonna fix everything, but I think it can be a good supplement to certain treatments. And I think you need to do your research and make sure you're getting a veterinary certified chiropractor.
And what are the main reasons that a dog would need to go to a chiropractor?
If it's a working dog or an animal that enjoys agility training where they're running and twisting and turning a lot, that can be very stressful on the muscles and the joints and the bones, and subtle adjustments may be helpful for that. But I think you probably want to be doing that in conjunction with other things. So potentially massage, potentially acupuncture, and then of course seeing your regular veterinarian to get x-rays to make sure that there isn't a major underlying problem with their discs that needs to be addressed medically. I'm a big advocate for hip and joint support supplements for pretty much any dog, even if they're not an agility dog and they're just cuddling with you on the couch, because as they age, their joints will age also, and anything that we can do to help slow that process is a good thing.
Yeah. All right, that's all we have today. Thank you so much for being open with all of these hot takes. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to subscribe, like, and if you have a hot take that we didn't mention, comment below. And we'll see you next time. Bye.